and taking out your precious time for your busy schedule and getting indulged with our students and faculty members here.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. It was my pleasure. You guys have been extremely kind. As I was telling people, it wasn't just an honor. I'm really touched by the kindness.
Moving ahead, I would like to ask a few of the questions.
Sure.
That is, I wanted to know what is the first improvement that India needs to do to improve the education facility here?
The education facility here, I've gotten to just over the last hour and a half, I have managed to get a much better picture, an impression of NDIM and what the core competence of NDIM is, which, in my opinion, is the industry linkage, the kind of corporate partnerships that exist. So the first improvement is to improve upon what your core competence is. And in this case, I'd say, just continue doing what NDIM is doing. I wish I saw much more of it, of this corporate partnership in more business schools, not just in India, but across the world.
Okay.
Business school, by definition, exists to work in collaboration with businesses.
Yes, sir.
And to see such an example of that was excellent. So the first thing that we need to do is keep the good things going and expand. The second, I alluded to this during my talk, and I had a meeting with some of the NDIM faculty, some of your professors, of innovation, innovative thinking, and design thinking in the curriculum.
Yes.
Because as of the moment, the economy of India is on a tear. There are enough existing industries to absorb bright young people like you, the two of you, and more. Soon, there will come a time when business schools will have to start training students to take jobs in industries that don't exist and start creating some of their own. That's why the importance of training students to be innovative and to think innovatively and think entrepreneurially.
Yeah.
That is a skill that I would recommend one start infusing into the curriculum as early as possible. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
It does? Okay.
So I have read this about you, that you did your specialization in operational logistics, supply chain management, and operation research. And you also taught executive MBA in Singapore, Germany, Hong Kong, and Australia. So I would like to know what...
Austria, not Australia. Australia I've lectured, gone and presented, but it was in Austria.
Austria. Yeah. Okay. So I would like to know what advice would you like to give to our NDIM students?
Think global. Think global. The world is becoming a smaller and smaller place. The greatest asset that the Indian corporate sector has are talent like the two of you. Okay? And India's rise, much like China's, India's rise in the world has been very closely tied to its linkages across the globe. For example, the IT sector, a couple of decades ago, began essentially as the outsourcing hub for Western companies, mostly American. Today, it is in a right of its own.
Yeah.
And as it created a middle class, other companies and other sectors have emerged. And although there is a rising middle class in India, these companies and India's economy will remain intricately connected with that of the rest of the world. So, if there's one piece of advice I can give all of you students, it is think globally. Learn as much as you can about other countries, especially different countries where if you work in a company, different countries where your company exports or company does business with, or it could do business with. Learn about those countries, learn about that culture, because remember, the underlying foundation of all activity, whether it's economic or not, is societal and human culture. Learn about that culture. Learn to recognize that human beings are human beings everywhere.
Right.
And we all share the same emotions. We all share similar attributes. And your job as a manager is to connect as a human being with the human being sitting across from you, regardless of what country they come from. That's a skill that one has to learn.
Right.
And the foundation of that skill is first learning about the culture itself.
Right.
So think about the world. Think globally.
Yeah. So my last question is, how do you find students here in NDIM and the environment here?
The environment here, you kids, I'm sorry, I keep using kids. At my age, everybody's a kid. You guys are a good, enthusiastic bunch. You hijacked me on my way to lunch for this YouTube interview. This is innovation. This is entrepreneurship. This is go-getism. This is good.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed, as I said, with the corporate partnerships that I've seen your business school establish. No, you guys are a good bunch, and you've got a good future ahead of you. This is good that you take the time to get an interview with somebody who's visiting and just ask them these questions and make a YouTube out of it. That shows enterprise.
Yeah.
And that's very impressive in a business student.
Thank you, sir. So thank you, sir, for coming here
You're
in
welcome.
NDIM. We really appreciate your valuable time, and we hope to see you in future with this interesting sessions like today.
You are very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.